Yes, a number of you may well have seen parts of this presentation, all of this presentation, over a number of years. That I've been giving presentations to farmers across Australia and different parts of the world. And some of it actually goes back 10, 12 years when we first started coming over to Australia and sharing the farm work software and SMS software, and the learnings from then and what we shared then are as important now as they were back then, if not more important, with the automation that we have. And so where I come from a software perspective, in this instance, yes, it's the New Holland platform, but I believe that we should have the software that belongs to the machinery manufacturer right at the heart of all of the operations that a farmer is involved with, because they're managing the machines, and managing the machines is absolutely vital to the success of field operations that we're talking about today, and the efficiency in field, but also engaging with agronomy companies, with other software platforms, whatever else it may be. Let's get all of the data and the management of that data in one place, working to its very best, so we haven't got duplicate fields and the like. And a lot of this is stimulated from automation, and automation is fantastic, but beware of things being done automatically. Is a big alarm bell for me when I hear that things are going to be done automatically, because they can planned automation will work, unplanned won't, and we have to be really careful when what we mean and what we understand by automatically. And most of that actually comes down to getting the management tree and the digital farm set up correctly. So when data is moving automatically between machines and platforms, the language is the same, the field names are the same, A/B lines are the same, etc. So let's get that automation, get that the automation side of it set up correctly. So when data does move automatically, it is going in the right place. And setup is the key, as we mentioned, whether getting the boundaries, getting the field names, we want the accuracy and reliability and compatibility of data that we've got, and everything sits inside our digital paddock boundary. Whatever we're doing, that's where the data will end up, and that's what we're working towards. Whatever that data is, yield data, A/B lines, protein maps, fertilizer maps, spray, drone, satellite data, whatever it is, we want it inside that field boundary. And what we mean by all of this, and put a few examples of different pieces of software here, whether it's the old FarmWorks PLM software from New Holland, or whether it's the Ag Leader SMS or the PLM Connect. The principles are exactly the same. There's no difference regardless of the platform. The principle is the same, that the digital farm has to equal the physical farm in the way that we set it up and the way that we work it. And this is a sort of, again, a slide that many of you will have seen over the years. And this is an exact, a real life example of some headers that were working in Western Australia, where there was two or three machines, and this is the data that came back in. I'm just using the old FarmWorks software here, just because it's easier to explain what we mean. And so we look at this management tree here. And some of you may well have started to realize that it's a bit of a mishmash. And the reason that came about is because the name of this farm came from header one, and the name of this farm came from header two. As you'll notice, they're spelt differently. So we've got two different farm names there. And this field 14 came from the first header. This from the second header. It's the same M14. This is M space 14 from header 3. And miles 14 was from header 4. So these aren't made up. This is what it is. So we've got four different versions of the same paddock there, and header 3 had got Baboo 6 and 5, and then this one had got 5 and 6 again, which should have been the same field. And so we've got a management tree there that is not going to help us at all. And this is what we mean by getting the management tree and the digital farm set up correctly right at the very beginning. And that looks a complete nightmare and gives many farmers a minor heart attack when they see that, of going, actually, this is just going to be too difficult. I can't be bothered to look at my data. But actually, in a few minutes, sitting down and going through it with the farmer, we organise the management tree on the right, and got it all ship shape really quite quickly. And that's what we need to have on our vehicles, on our software, and across all of the platforms. It needs to be organized. And if we have that, then we've got a great deal of energy and enthusiasm for the automation and data collection that we're going to have. The automation will work, and the data that we collect will end up in the right place. And just some other examples of where data can go in the wrong place. We've got two farms here, Brookhouse Farm and Ham Green Farm, and they got field names or numbers of 1234, 1234. And it's very easy if you're going from one to the other to select farms. And you've seen this many times where late at night you're going from one field to another, and yes, just change fields rather than farms, and data ends up going in the wrong place. So let's see if we can organize that and just organize it a little better, get the naming criteria a little bit more organized. So each of those fields are totally unique as they are on your physical farm. And very simple little things like little tips like this can help the operators when they're wanting to select the right field for the right data to go into. And we've also looked at different formats of house paddock A, B, or underscore, or A comma B. These certainly the first one can cause programming issues, and we've seen that a couple of times in the past where you've got slashes and backslashes. So just use A dash B or something like that. And A dash B is not going to upset any programming language that is used by other software platforms. So that's again just a little tip that we came across, because what we want to do is all of the fields in our management tree, we want them to go out. In this instance, it's to the IntelliView 4 monitor, where they all line up perfectly. What we see on a monitor is exactly what is in the software that we've got, and that's where we want it to be. So as and when we have collected our yield data, we've then converted any of that information into a variable rate seeding map, then that all aligns as well. And so we've got great continuity of data from right from harvest through to seeding and spraying and back round to harvest again. So that's what we're wanting to see. So our management tree is working, whether it's the old New Holland software as we see here or the new Field Ops center. We want them all to be perfectly aligned and sent out to as many monitors as we've got on our software. And Ed mentioned quickly at the beginning about paddock boundaries, and in the software, we ideally want to have field boundaries around every single field that we're working in. The software, we are able to show yield data in the new platform without field boundaries, but you're not able to analyze it, not able to do anything with it. And so for me, it's absolutely essential that you have a field boundary of how we do that. And we can see here that we've got no crop, no boundary. So the name is set up in the platform that we're able to then export it out to the monitor to go and record our boundaries. So we're getting all of the field names set up in the software before we go out to the tractor to record the names. And once we've got all our housekeeping, we've looked at all our boundaries, we've recorded them accurately, then we've got a good set of boundaries, all well named, and this all does look pretty good from a setup perspective. And a little bit of good practice when we're recording straight lines, just press pause and record, rather than then you've got a perfectly straight line down your fence line. And so we haven't got anything that is slightly inaccurate when we're running down fence lines from there. So yeah, pause and record is a very handy one. Go around the corner and then press pause and record again from there. Overlapping boundaries are a real challenge if we're getting a number of different methodologies to record the boundaries. If we're using one tractor and going to do the whole farm that way, it's much more reliable than bringing little pieces, bits of data from one software platform to another, and bringing them centralized. Let's record it, record the boundaries using one particular vehicle or service, that it's much more likely that data is going to appear in the right place. And here we've got everything that the boundaries look reasonably okay, but on closer observation, we've got some overlapping boundaries. And this causes a problem when we've got and we create variable rate application maps. And what we had here is that some of the data was in the wrong paddock on the wrong field, and so that doesn't the farmer was looking for data and they couldn't find it because it was spatially sorted into to the wrong one. And this is because the agronomist boundary was imported and overwrote the farmer's driven boundary. And this also, if you're wanting to export it from the PLM or from field ops into ag world, for example, it doesn't like overlapping boundaries either. So getting those fundamental field boundaries done correctly is absolutely vital from there. And so yeah, some recording boundary hints and tips. Do it with one vehicle ideally, and then test it after the first field for accuracy. I heard a story a number of years ago where a farmer in New South Wales had done 20,000 hectares, thought he'd done a great job, and then found he'd set the receiver to autonomous rather than to RTK, had to go back out and do the whole lot again. And so they thought they were doing the right job, but didn't get that check in after they'd done the first field. So it's just well worth spending that little bit of time in getting the setup right. And record internal field boundaries at the same time where the headland's likely to be. And then most importantly, now as we're starting to look at the Verge Ag software and field efficiency, is record any obstacles in the field. Because if we're looking to understand the best way to navigate across our fields, then we need to know where the obstacles are. And that's, if you have got those and you've recorded them in the vehicle, then it'll make the time that you spend on the Verge Ag software much more beneficial than if you haven't got them. You can record obstacles in the peer in field ops software and then export them to Verge Ag, as Nick may well mention later on, and I'll show you how to do those in the software as well. But yeah, grow a farm field in the fields op first, and then send them to display to record the boundaries after that. Don't start to type names in on the monitor as you go, because then you may well have a difference between what's in your software and what's in your monitor, and that's the main thing that we want to avoid. So start in field ops, export it out to the monitor, record it against the names, and then sync it back into the platform. And then the reliability of what's going on is much more important, much more reliable. And so when we're looking at on the software, we've got drawing inner boundary items, we've got inner passable and inner impassable, and that will be the same on the monitor as well when you record them. Where they're passable, you can drive over them for whatever reason that the obstacle is there, and some that you can't, and you'll navigate around them after that as part of what you do. And so if you've recorded them in field ops platform, you'll need to look on the menus and look under inner boundaries and show all. And once you've got the show all, you'll be able to see all of the obstacles you've got, either the ones that you've recorded in the vehicle or the ones that you want to record on the platform. And so you've got the two opportunities to work them from there. A/B line management is really important as well. And if you've got the A/B lines that you've got at the moment, can they be improved from a field efficiency point of view? That's where the Verge Ag software will come in. But to start off with, let's just get rid of duplicate A/B lines, names A/B lines that don't make any sense. Let's have a good clear through those. The biggest number of A/B lines that I did see on the monitor was about 110. And obviously in the situations like that, they didn't know which one to use, so they created another one every time they went into the paddock. So the reliability there was pretty hopeless. And so yeah, create a line, name it, and use it as often as you possibly can, unless you have to go and create another one. And so yeah, really helpful to keep an eye on that. And you can manage the A/B lines and edit them in the software. In the field ops software, and you can now create offsets if you want to from the lines that you have in there. The functionality in the field ops is pretty minimal in comparison to the Verge software. So that's the benefit of using third-party software to fine-tune things like this. And if we've got A/B line management in our software, over the years, the most requested feature of any software was creating variable rate maps using the A/B line that is set up in the field, and the Engage software that we were working with was able to do that. So we got the east line in the east boundary line in the field on the left, created the variable rate application map, and then sent it to the monitor after that. So we were using the same line right through the operations, and it made life a lot easier for the operator. And creating the variable rate map. So it's just about that consistency in our data. On the new platform for sort of the Field Ops and PLM Connect, naming vehicles correctly is something that I'm really keen on, because here this is a machine that we've got in an account, and you just got a serial number there, which doesn't really mean a great deal of different, doesn't mean a great deal to anybody. And if we're wanting to send the management tree out to the vehicles via telematics, we don't know which serial numbers belong to which when we're doing our export on the right hand side. Which vehicle is it? And so let's look at renaming the vehicles so they mean something to you and to the operator. So the right management tree gets sent out to the right machine. It also helps with the vehicle reporting as well, if you've got the vehicle's name correctly. And this is an example. When you look on the mobile app, you can see exactly what the vehicles are, rather than just a great number of serial numbers. So all of the things that can be done well before harvest, or well before any field operation, once you've done it, that's all you have to do. So if we're looking at creating grower, farm, and field in the Field Ops software now, we log on to the portal, and we then go down to setup on the left-hand side, and this is part of the reorganization of the platform. Go to the left-hand side, go to setup. Then we look at growers, and there's a sneaky cross button or an add button in the bottom right-hand corner. Initially, it's not easy to see. So the whopping great red arrow there will give you an indication of where it is. Otherwise, it's very easily missed. So we click the plus and type in the name of our grower in there, and we save it, and it appears in the list. Then we do the same thing for farms. Go to the plus sign, and we add the farm name here. One thing that you just need to make sure is you select the correct existing grower. As we see there, even though I just added E. Jones and Sons, it does default alphabetically to CNH grower. And so depending on where you are in the alphabet, you just want to make sure that is selected correctly first before you add in the farm name and click save. And so the field name, so the farm name appears there. Do the same thing with fields. Find the add button. Just check the grower name and then the farm name, as we've got here. We then put in the field name. and in the box there, and then we scroll down to the bottom of the page. And if we want to draw a boundary, and there's nothing wrong with drawing the boundary initially, if you haven't got the field, haven't got them all recorded accurately in the tractor, you can draw the boundary in there. You can put a zip code, a postcode in, and then draw around the outside of the field. This isn't particularly accurate, but what it'll allow you to do is do something with your yield data as and when it comes in. Not my preferred route, but it's better than having no boundary at all. And so we click stop drawing. We see that the boundary is being created. Then we click done and then save. And it now appears in our list of fields that we have in our management tree. And then we go back to select the correct grower, and we can see the name of this field is the name is landing strip. We've got a boundary around the outside of it, but we haven't assigned a crop to it, and we can't assign a crop in the software to go out to the displays. The crop has to be selected in the display itself. It can't be preset. So how do we export it out to the monitor? Well, we've created all of the management tree on the software, so all the paddock names are the same. The first thing that I would be looking at doing is clean off the monitors with all the previous year's data. You don't need anything on from previous years. The monitor isn't designed to hold data; it's just designed to collect it. If you need to do any other monitor upgrades, get those done as well, and then send the data out either on a clean USB stick or via telematics, whichever is the system that you've got. So where do you do that? In the top right-hand corner, this has moved, and it's a bit sneaky. You've got the up and down arrow where the red arrow there is. Select that, and then look for export. And then you have the choice of either a CM1 folder if it's going out via USB stick, or an ISO XML if you're going via telematics or USB stick. And we can use it either from you can either download it onto the USB stick or send it to the equipment. I hadn't got any connected machines, so I couldn't send it out to the equipment for this particular demonstration. So I'm just going to download it. Select the fields that you want. Oh, sorry, select the growers that you want. You've got the arrows, the ticks on the right-hand side. And then you'll include the swaths and include the boundaries if you've got those recorded, because then you've got auto field recognition as well if you want to use those. Click finish, and then we just save the file onto a USB stick and take it out to the machine from there. So that's exporting the data. Then what do we do from cleaning the data off on the monitor? On our screen, we'll go to data management. Then we go to the delete tab. And then we want our data type to be grower, not farm or field. Let's get rid of everything. Go into the grower, select them all, click enter, hit the delete tab, and then this is where the majority of people panic and go, oh, I'm not going to delete everything. I'm a bit nervous. That's going to be a problem. It's not a worry. You haven't got your USB stick in there. You haven't got any data that you're going to lose that you haven't backed up already. And you've got your management tree on the portal as well. So have the courage of your convictions and click yes. Everything goes, and the monitor breathes a sigh of relief. And then you can put in the, so we just go to the diagnostics tab to see that everything has gone. Then you put the new management tree on there, and the monitor is now ready to collect data. Filtering crops is one that is probably more important now than it was from a data collection point of view, where we have our crop type here as wheat. If we haven't filtered them out, we have to scroll through a great long list of crops to be able to get to the ones that we actually want to use. So let's go to data management, go to the filter option, filter our crop lists, and just choose the crops that we want to that we're harvesting. And then this makes selection so much easier. And it's much easier selecting the right crops in the machine, because you've got the machine settings set up to the crop, and it saves a hell of a lot of time when the data comes back into field ops, that you haven't got to go through and manually change the crops that have been selected incorrectly. So yeah, if you haven't done that, really useful little tip. from there. So the Field Ops app, data transfer to and from the machine works really well as long as we got our management tree set up correctly. Yeah, we can view yield and coverage data, and we can do exactly the same on the mobile app as well. And lots of APIs you can link into, but we just need that good management tree all the way through. From there. Field Ops should be the central data source for farm setup, as it has all the relevant information to navigate tractors, machines, and that agronomy softwares generally don't do because they're not talking directly to the machine. So make sure that Field Ops has got all the information in that you need. And keys to data success for me is keep it simple. Digital farm equals the physical farm, and if you keep that in the back of your mind all the way through, whichever platforms you're working with, they will work well. Have accurate boundaries, and if you merge boundaries, if you merge paddocks together on your real farm, then do exactly the same on the digital farm as well. Don't see a difference or a merging of the two. The digital farm has to equal the physical farm. And prepare for automatic data transfer if you haven't done already, because I'm pretty sure it'll go automatically wrong before it'll go automatically right. So give yourselves the best opportunity to sort your management tree out, and then this automatic data collection will go wonderfully well, and you can concentrate on driving the machine rather than worrying where data's got to be. So that's a very quick whiz through where I sort of think that from a data management point of view in setting up for harvest is at, and